What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF Pork Chop here, and I'm coming at you with an update with Pork Chop. So, February. We're almost done with February, but January came and went. Was gonna do an update with Pork Chop video for y'all, but every time I try to do one, I either got interrupted or I was just droning on and on about nothing and everything all at once, which is what I'm known to do with the updates with Pork Chop. So, what y'all are getting is one in the month of February. Sorry if you can hear the air conditioning. So the main purpose of the update that I kept wanting to do was the status of my 3-hour endeavor at the ER on Christmas Eve when I cut my finger, or when I stabbed my finger. Wasn't even a cut. It was a full-on, like, double penetration stab. You know, we're going an alternate way. Traffic today is just interesting. So it's healed for the most part. So here's where I cut myself, right in the middle, right there, and then that's where it came out, right there, with the red on the knuckle, below the knuckle. I was cutting fudge. We put the fudge in the fridge overnight, and it hardened. And so I was like sawing the fudge out of this glass container to take to my grandmother's for Christmas Eve dinner. And on the last row that I cut fudge, I sliced my finger, which was funny because I told myself, hey, self, don't cut yourself. Take it easy. We don't want to end up in the ER on Christmas. And look what happened. I spoke that into existence, or I, wished that into existence, because that's exactly what happened. So my wife took me to the ER, was there for 3 hours. I didn't really feel any pain until about like 2 hours into it. And then that's when like the adrenaline, I guess, was wearing off. And I was like, oh, here we go. It's starting to sting. It's starting to hurt a bit. Because, yeah, like I did that and then I immediately pulled it out. So didn't leave the knife in. Probably should have done that. I don't know. You're not supposed to take it out like when you get stabbed. So I'm told. Watching horror movies and true crime stuff. But I took it out immediately. Just pulled it out. And, we're past the 1 minute mark. I don't even know why I care about that, because I'm not getting monetized. But because I said that in my head, I pulled it out and I said 3 times. I said, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. When it happened. And then my wife's like, what? And I was like, I did it. Yeah, that's great. She didn't know it had an exit wound. She just thought I just poked myself and called it good. No, it went all the way through. So that was great. But yeah, 3-hour endeavor at the ER. They were not the best. The whole thing during COVID was like, you guys are all superheroes. You guys are warriors. Yeah, these warriors were burnout, underpaid, didn't want to be there on Christmas Eve, whatever, because they were just like the C team, like the weekend warriors, the ones that come in to back up the backups, is what it felt like, because they were all like talking crap about other patients that they had previously that day, and la-di-da, like, can we just glue it so we don't have to give them stitches? Like, they were all just being like laissez-faire about it. And they were like, oh, no. I was like, yeah, we're going to need more than just glue. But anyway, these stitches fell out probably at the beginning of January. And these finally came out on Valentine's Day. So from Christmas Eve to Valentine's Day, I had stitches on my my hand on the inside. And it was just like, ugh. Because, like, I can flex it now. Back when I had the stitches there, like, I could like, that's as straight as I can get my finger whenever I had the stitches in. But now I can extend it and I can grip it and close it and claw it and all that stuff. So anyway, that was Christmas Eve. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about in January, but I never did. That's like the only thing I wanted to talk about in January, but I never did. So February's here. Survived the holiday. Being a delivery driver for a florist on Valentine's Day is it's crazy. It's crazier than a squirrel shit parfait, because it's nuts. And, you know, some nights I stayed till 11 o'clock, some nights I stayed till 8, some nights I stayed right until like we closed the doors. It was just a crapshoot all week long. So was able to do the food review in my house because I ran out of daylight. That's when I did the heart-shaped pizza for you guys if you want to go watch that. That was my Valentine's Day special. I did the pizza in my house because I ran out of daylight, because even though I was done working, I still had to, you know, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Can you get out of here? Like, you know, and that was another couple of hours. And by the time I was done, the sun said, bye-bye. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna, I try not to review like in darkness. I tried to find like a well-lit parking lot or, you know, what have you. Sometimes I even think about bringing my ring light and just posting it right here and then just like, hey, look at this. But anyway, that was why I did it on the inside of my house. And then this week, posted the food review for the What a Catch with my wife. So if you guys want to go watch that, I greatly appreciate that. And then just any other Tuesday reviews that you guys maybe haven't caught up on or you've watched it, go watch it again. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, become a piglet, and just let's just have a good time. But anyway, so I'm also getting over a head cold. That's pretty much what it was. It was a lot of sinus pressure, like sinus infection and drainage. So that's why my voice sounds a little meh right now. And every time I get this, I'm like, ugh. But then the first day, I got a sore throat. And when it comes to sore throats, I'd rather have like the flu or COVID rather than having a sore throat. Sore throat is the worst thing for me because you don't realize it until you're doing it, but, you know, taking a drink, you got to swallow. You know, you have a little bit of spit like in the back of your throat, you swallow the spit, you know, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you don't know how often you do it until you have to do it. And sore throats, man, to me are just the worst. They're like the worst, like debilitating thing for me, like in general. So, started off with a sore throat that only lasted a day, thank God, and everything else was just drainage. And I'm like, you know what? I could take this. I could take drainage over a sore throat for sure. So, getting over that. Like, I think I'm probably like 2 days away. I probably just need to pop another NyQuil tonight and call it good. But we'll see what happens. And so enough of that personal stuff. That's out of the way. Talking about the channel now. So my original plan for this year was to do food reviews, June vlog challenge, gameplay, which includes the Huskies, Manhunt, and Batman Arkham City. Those were the three that I was going to do. But as of late, like the past few days, I've been kind of hankering to do that Pokemon Emerald Tropius solo run that I was going to do for last year, but then I ran out of oomph, ran out of gumption, and I was like, I ain't doing this. So I'm like, maybe that's something I can do at the end of the year, work on it throughout the year, then like post it as like, I don't know, like a pork chop Christmas special or holiday special or what have you. Like something to, you know, do, because pretty much after Choptober, it's just like nothing but food reviews and Huskies, and it's like, peace. That's all you get. And then the occasional update with pork chop. So that, and then I recently reactivated my Audible account, and so I've been reading listening, not reading, because I don't have time for that. I gotta listen. Listening to audiobooks, and they've all been horror related. So the end of last year, I listened to The Butcher and the Wren by Elena from the Morbid podcast. And then I listened to the sequel, which was Butcher's Game. That was cool. The third one's coming out in August. But then I've been wanting to get into more splatterpunk, so I listened to Yellow by Aaron Beauregard. And I've been watching a couple of like book report essay videos, SAESSAY, not essay like sexual assault, but anyway, on YouTube. And so I got to listen to the book report for Playground and Slob, and Playground, Child of Divorce, and The Son of the Slob, and The Har, or The Hare, however you say it, and then a couple of other Aaron Beauregard books, but The Har wasn't one of them. But I recently listened to Yellow, which that's awesome. Oh, I'm low on gas. Sometimes it makes sound, sometimes it doesn't. So Yellow by Aaron Beauregard, crazy freaking story. Very, very, very like disturbing and not for the faint of heart. So if you watch it or read it or listen to it, listener aggression is advised, reader aggression is advised, all that good stuff. Splatterpunk is somebody, my coworker Jordan was asking me like, oh, how would you describe splatterpunk? And I said, like there are horror movies, right? Like you got your slashers, and you got your supernatural, and all this other stuff, religious horror, body horror, all that good stuff. She's like, yeah. I was like, splatterpunk is like the Human Centipede franchise. And she's like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, that's the type of like story it is. Like a Terrifier franchise and the Human Centipede franchise made a baby, and that's splatterpunk. So if that's something you're interested in, more power to you. I love those movies. I loved Yellow. I've loved the essays that I've watched. But yeah, that's how I would describe it. Terrifier franchise and the Human Centipede franchise had a baby, and you get splatterpunk. So anyway, so listen to that. And then this wasn't splatterpunk, but it was like a thriller, like whodunit mystery, and that was Home is Where the Bodies Are. And that's another one that I'm like, ooh, I could do a report on that. So I have a poll going on. I think it's going on for another few days. If you guys want me to do like once a month, do like a horror like book review. And so if you want to go vote on that, right now it's yes. I think we only have one person that said no, but I've had 5 people that have said yes. So if you want to try to even the odds, or expand the yes, go for it. In that way, maybe that's something I can explore. Maybe, like I said, monthly, loosely monthly, I could do that. But if I have time, I'll do it. If I don't, then maybe you'll get it once every couple of months, or once every 3 months, or what have you. But definitely we'll do one for Choptober, that's for sure. And so that's something that I've been thinking about doing, because like I love I think I'm gonna say it right, Purger, I think is what the YouTube channel's called, that does the splatterpunk like book reports and stuff like that. There's a few on there that I'm like, dude, I really want them to do this, but then I'm like, again, back when I was like doing like the listening and watching the food reviews, I'm like, I could do that. So it's like with the horror book reports, I'm like, I could do that. So that's something I would definitely be interested in doing if you guys want to watch and listen to that. And then maybe that'll open up a whole new avenue, like it did for me, for a new genre of horror books that you want to read or what have you. But there's that. Also, the horror stories, I was trying to get one out a week for 2026. That was my goal. That has fallen so far by the wayside, it's not even funny, because I had full intent. I started writing. I'm moving it to just a 3-story like system. So each video has 3 stories. No 3 more. No 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. It's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it's gonna be 3 stories per video. Is what I was gonna do for 26. And I started writing the first story around Thanksgiving, and I finished that one quickly. That one just like, it came to me just like not really a dream, but it was just like so easy for me to write that I just done. And then the second one I started around, I don't know, the first or second week of December, and I thought I finished it around New Year's, but it was so short. Like it was like a short story. It was so short. Like the first one, like when I was done with like the audio and all that good stuff, it was like, I don't know, 18 minutes. The second one was like 7. I was like, okay, I need to expand on that. So I rewrote that, or, you know, added more to it, and got more meat and potatoes in there. And not fluff. It wasn't fluffed at all. I got more meat and potatoes in there, or so I think. And so second story I finished at the end of January, and I'm like, well, there's the deadline. I totally missed that one, obviously, like for weeks. And then now the third one I started writing last week, and I haven't even really started. Like, I mean, I've started it, but it's nowhere near like deep in the story. I'm still in like the beginning stages of the story. So what they are is 3 money horror stories. And so I'll just give you guys the, I guess, like the synopsis of each of them. So first one is a story about a girl that gets recruited to do strange videos, and she has like 15 that she has to do, and they progressively get weirder and weirder. And when she's done with the 15, she gets $1 million transferred into a bank account for her. And, you know, she's, you know, having a rough life. She had to move back home from going to college in California to take care of her sick family and her brother and all that stuff. And so the $1 million could really be helpful for her. So there's that. And then the second story is about a guy that gets a laptop off of Buy Sell Trade on Facebook, and it turns out that the hard drive has like full on like crypto scams and stuff like that, where to invest your money and all that good stuff. And so he's kind of like in the weeds, and, you know, he's trying to figure out, you know, if this is legit or not. And then the third one that I'm currently working on is about a guy that for 5 years you have to live in this underground bunker, and when you're finished with the 5 years you get a $5 million payout. And so he has nothing going for him. He lost his job, he lost his girlfriend, he has no family, and so he's like, what have I got to lose? And so he's, you know, slowly going into madness, being alone in this bunker for 5 years. So if those sound like stories that you want me to finish and hurry up and upload, comment down below. Hurry up, Pork Chop, hurry up. And I'll try to wrap that third story up and get it, you know, edited and all that stuff, and put into the YouTube algorithm. And so that's what I've got. So that's all I've got for y'all today, though. So if y'all can please subscribe to become a piglet, I greatly appreciate that. Also turn that bell notification on, that way you're notified every time I do a food review, gameplay, vlog, or miscellaneous video like this. You're in the know, and what's better than knowing that I did this in less than 20 minutes, and just telling the ER story the first time, it was like 25 minutes of just the ER story. So glad I could get that shortened for y'all. So thank y'all, and always remember, my little piglets, Colin Pork Chop loves y'all the most, so y'all take it easy, guys, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.